So we got a calendar here. Again, we don't have that many reports, just 3 for the US that seem a bit, you know, concerning or rather to look out for, but nothing much that should, take a huge effect in the markets or allow maybe the consolidation that we've been having with other reports like CPI and GDP last week. So that's my vibe for this week. Just traditionally respect each level, not kind of be worried about these reports, but to consider maybe at said time zones, they will have some type of small effect to each and every single day. So starting off with Tuesday at 10 in the morning, that's a hot zone. Either things reverse there, continue set up trend that started from market open. So 10 in the morning, Tuesday, CB consumer confidence. Why is this important? Because this just reflects what the common consumer may view inflation to be at currently, and if it's steadily increasing, declining, in the same rate, this will kind of just help maybe understand maybe for the rest of the week, rest of the month, till the next CPI in March comes out. Actually, now it's 2 weeks from now, right? It's just right around the corner. What it could maybe forecast. So consumer confidence, something to look out for. It's in the morning on Tuesday. Go ahead and just put that here. I like to highlight these purple. All right, and then we have on Wednesday, ISM manufacturing PMI. So this is a producer manufacturing index, if I'm not mistaken, or price manufacturing index, sorry. That's not really going to take a huge effect, but it's just going to do what the other report is doing, the consumer confidence. It's not going to forecast, something like with CPI, but rather what maybe the cost for productions and things, right, could be in the near future. So that's going to be Wednesday, 10 in the morning as well. So back to back, we have those 10 in the morning reports. We just put PMI. But this is actually going to be ISM. And we'll go ahead and look into the difference between this one and the one we have on Friday, which Friday we have another one at 10 in the morning, and it's ISM, it's services, not manufacturing. So if the one for Wednesday is ISM manufacturing, and then the one for Friday is just ISM services. I'm going to look into the full difference because it's all at 10 in the morning, and usually that does something to the markets around that time. So Wednesday we have the manufacturing one. And then on Friday, same time, we have services. So I'm pretty sure without even just looking at the definition, we can kind of gather some common sense here that this is probably just merely going to be a report. For what's manufactured, the cost of things, right? Maybe a projection of what they could, be doing in the next, few months to the next report, and also touch base on what it's been like in the past season. And then ISM services maybe won't be touching base on the products or like the materials of things, but rather services, right? But whether that be maybe government-related services, self-employment, services that's still related to affecting or having some type of decent change in the world. So maybe things like that, a collective report on services is what we could see is going to happen on Friday. Differentiating from Wednesday, it's going to be, of products. Could look more into the definition, but that's just what I could kind of gather from that. Nothing really intense, but just something to look out for at 10 in the morning. So that's pretty much it. Other than that, from what I'm noticing here on Forex Factory, a lot of other countries just have PMI as well. CPI for JPY, GDP for CHF. Not much going on. Now, when it comes to earnings, we have Groupon, Oxy, and Zoom on Monday. You can check that out in the upcoming earnings tab. Tuesday, we have Target, Ross, Rivian, AMC, Flanagan's, and Multiplan. So check that out in upcoming earnings. And then Wednesday, Lowe's, Snow, Neo, and Plug. Thursday, Costco, Best Buy, Macy's, and Big Lots. Now, each and every single one of these, again, you can take a look at them in the upcoming earnings tab. I'll go ahead and make this look pretty here, so I'll post this one in the weekly outlook, the calendar itself, which will include these earnings. But again, just so you guys are aware, I do not touch earnings prior to the report. It would be, if anything, post-report that I would want to see a trade for those companies. So take a look at upcoming earnings. If not, just wait for the weekly outlook, this calendar here. Go ahead and insert them as well, whether they be pre or after market trades. And that's pretty much it. Should be a solid week. Live trading every single day. You guys know the vibes. Thursday, I'm not really much of a fan of trading Thursdays, but I'm actually starting to pick up some type of momentum with it. So we'll see how it works out. Oh yeah, what's good, Jay Bizzle? Let's go. All right, yeah. So.
Hey, dude, what's up, man? Sorry I'm late.
Nah, it's all good, bro. All right, man. So gonna switch you guys over to the charts now, but that's the calendar. I'll go ahead and send that over when we're finished here. But let's see what we got for our charts. What levels can we have here? All right, so simple. We don't even have to add any support or resistances for SPY. I feel like if it takes its daily average tomorrow, either up or down of $5 to $7, the most that it can come down to, would be 392, and even then we have levels coming under that. So I think that's okay. I think anything starting to come under 390s may want to look for some tighter support or resistances, but so far, it's been actually planning out according to what we have here. So don't need to add any support or resistances, just need to change up where we stand, right? We're calling our put territories. So anything above would be calls, anything under where we currently are would be puts. Something I want to change because it does not have to happen just like last week. This level here, we can actually go ahead and bring it down just a little bit lower under previous resistance, keeping it at support as well from a previous point in time in the past. So for any reason it does come under and retest our 200 SMA here, the downtrend seems valid from what we started to have Friday, right? Now, if for any reason we start to surpass previous potential confirmation to the downside, right? There's not really support or resistance, but rather confirmation to gap down. And then from the past, if we kind of scroll on over here, it's just a nice, decent range of support from the past, right? So if this level tomorrow is for any reason to hold above after a retest, then I would want to see our first take profit levels be shortly after, which actually could be $1.50 above, just because of the gaps that we've had, starting from last week. So calls 398 and above to 398.80s, believe it or not. If not, probably add some tighter, resistances here. And then anything to the upside, we could just merely move down our levels just to be a little bit humble and conservative. Doesn't have to do the exact same thing as last week. Just bring them down a little bit, make it make sense. So anything to the top side would be green for take profit 1. This would be take profit 2, around 3, almost 400s, right? 398.80s, 480s range, third take profit level, and so on and so forth. And anything to the downside, we'll just leave it red, considering that's for the puts, right? So that's what I have here. It seemingly this is what I have, in my view, for SPY. If for any reason we want to go ahead and actually hold this level here, then okay, we'll ride the wave. We want to see the retest occur. Retest would mean that it does not fall anything under our calls territory, but actually can stay above and just ride the wave up, right? Now, for any reason, this actually can hold under and retest, not even our puts territory, but retest our resistance from a point in time in the past. Oh.
Legal law.
So if we can go ahead and actually continue this downtrend that started on Friday and not even retest our puts territory, but continue to retest where we closed from Friday, I would want to see that the shorts can continue from there actually. And we can, ride these nice downtrends. Now, clearly the downtrends from last week were really hefty and the reversals were, if anything, just about the same as the downtrends. So we would have to consider almost the same thing going into next week. There will be a lot of aggressive sell-offs and aggressive reversals. But of course, a report that we just built here in Weekly Outlook will be able to help us identify those times best to enter. So that's what I have for SPY. Either way it goes, I don't have a bias. I want to say that looking at our higher time frame here, our RSI is oversold, right? It's definitely a lot different from where we were back in January when we were anticipating this exact downtrend to happen, which I'm very glad that it panned out. Now what we have to do is prepare for the next trend, right? Does not have to continue going lower, but it definitely can get worse before things get better. In fact, under the 200 SMA here on the 4-hour chart just shows me that this Christmas tree effect that we have here, where we peaked all the way up here, 413, 418 range, and then instantly drop, but cannot get past above that 400 range again, shows that the retest is actually, proving the downtrend more and more. But as I just mentioned, the RSI is very oversold. In order for realistically this to continue to downtrend, and with time, the RSI, the momentum, needs to at least build up before it sells off even harder, or even continues to want to surpass these lows that we currently are at. Now, I mean, of course, who's to say there's not some news or a fundamental report, right, that now or even next week going into CPI for March maybe could have an aggressive sell-off, but that's definitely not something that, we want to predict, but we can definitely be prepared for, right? And I think that with enough time, the RSI, can go even halfway to overbought levels. We can prepare for those shorts. But for right now, I don't want to get caught into something that is not ready to continue doing so yet. So yeah, that's what I have here on the 4-hour chart. Things are oversold. It can go a little bit, to overbought levels, even to halfway over here to the 39 range, and then sell off again, which would make sense. Retesting our right side of our Christmas tree, right? And if you don't see what I see, I have my chart now blank so that you guys can see the Christmas tree effect. So now the Christmas tree, you may ask, what the hell is that? It's not something that I just made up. It just literally looks like a Christmas tree. If you guys also analyze your support and resistances, the retest, and with the amount of time the way that direction should realistically move, this is actually something that you guys can all view in your eyes pretty easily. So right now, ever since October, we had this huge leg up, and you see I've drawn this. We retested, but we never came under resistance, right? Did the same thing going into almost the new year, December, actually. Retested, but guess what? We never came under previous resistance. We almost did, and it was pretty sketch, but the RSI told us the story, right? That the momentum was not ready for it. Then we came back all the way up in February, retested, and right now, what are we doing again? What we were doing in December. Retesting, see if we want to come under our previous resistances, but is the RSI ready for that? Or doesn't it look exactly the same as it did back in the beginning of December? So two things can happen here. One thing's for sure is we are under a 200 SMA, which is never a good sign on any time frame, right? But for any reason we do, hold above our RSI, the momentum is saying that it's there to be prepared for any, bounce to the upside. Now, of course, if on the 5-minute we respect our levels that we just drew out here, and we see some retest continue, then intraday, we could ride the wave down. But as a swing, I would think I would actually get ready for some type of bounce. I'm not sure how long it could last. It could be an hour tomorrow, it could be 3 hours, it could be the next 5 days. Just as long as with enough time, the RSI and the 4 hour time frame and the longer time frames pick up just enough so that they can have a harder crash into CPI, then let it be, right? So that's a swing perspective. I would actually think about calls in the next coming days. I don't know when the bounce is gonna happen, but that's what I think for swing. And then for intraday, I would just play these levels accordingly. See the retest, probably even scalp a few times. When it comes to diamond handing any plays and letting your runners run, definitely try to afford more contracts than usual, just so it can give you an ease of mind when you reach each and every single take profit level. And I mean, if you guys look at my charts here, I post them every single day for the most part. I'll post this one here into watch list along with other stocks. You'll be able to see that even after taking your first entries here, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and definitely 6 to the upside. More than one take profit level after you get in after a retest. Whether that be the first one, the second one, the third, or even towards the end of the day. It's why I feel like the move still has potential to go further down or further up. Now, if you notice the RSI is a bit oversold, you can kind of see that things always for the most part reverse, and try to go back to the upside, or, only do that to finally sell off even harder. So we'll see the same thing play out for tomorrow. Either way works. I'm not really biased. I actually want to see some type of sell-off happen from now to market open, just to allow the RSI to cool down in the 5-minute, but maybe not to come under Thursday or Friday's lows, just enough so that we can have the bounce on the 4-hour chart to make sense, and I mean we'll ride the wave from there for sure. So that's what I have for SPY. Gave a little bit of a lengthy kind of speculative opinion on there, but I feel like I kind of had to give my take on that one. We're going to be trading SPY and SPX for the most part, so we have to know what indicators are in favor and which are to be cautious for. In other hand, just in case we don't trade SPY because it's a little bit choppy, as we've been noticing, the volume for SPY is just it's insane. There's a huge gap between Qs and SPY, and I'm starting to notice Qs is not having a lot of kind of like a headache or hectic moves when holding contracts. So looking at Qs on the weekly time frame, I always like to analyze this. How far are we from the 200 SMA on the weekly? Let's see. We'll put this one as blank. I already have one as blank, but we'll go ahead and see without levels. Okay, we're still okay, but remember a few weeks ago we were all the way up here, right? And we could have either surpassed to make a new high, or even touch new highs, or started to reject out of nowhere. And I mean, seemingly the next support would be our 200 SMA. So it's pretty sketch, because if we do come under that indicator right there, and we pull up the max time frame, for those of you that don't know, last time that we came under that indicator was in 2008, and that was just a massive downtrend, and the RSI is definitely set up for it right now as it was in 2008. So I'd be very, very careful with that, the long-term kind of perspective. Intraday doesn't really matter if you trade accordingly to the levels that you have, the supply, demand, support, and resistance zones, then you should be okay. But if you're holding, for the long run, I would kind of keep in mind for these aggressive sell-offs, because you never know which one is going to finally take to per se have a market crash, right? But it's always good to be prepared. All right, so that's what I have for our indexes, or our ETFs to our indexes rather. So Q goes to NASDAQ, SPY goes to S&P 500, and yeah. So for my future traders, S&P 500, we'll definitely be calling that out on futures. Just keep in mind of that. SPY is going to be for option trading. All right, Tesla. Looking at the daily chart here, RSI finally started to cool off, right? Like with anything else. Now, for any reason it comes under 180 range, I would be looking at shorts. I do not short Tesla. I'm more of a bullish investor, so I would see actually that it holds 198 range to start buying more calls and ride the levels accordingly. In fact, I would want to see that 222 range gets touched again with time, and I'll just sit out patiently, watching Tesla. I've been watching Tesla for probably a few months now. I have not entered a Tesla trade. Actually, no, like a month and a half. So I'm just kind of, being cautious with it. Did not ride the entire, 100% move that it had the last month or so. But I'm glad I was in, for the beginning of that, and I anticipated what could have been. So definitely want to feel the same for the next investment with Tesla, and we'll just keep an eye on this one. So gonna wait for those dips. If not, they'll hold above 198. Nvidia, God, I love Nvidia, but the RSI is definitely overbought. I would want to see that it cools down just a little bit here, and even on a 5-minute perspective. Looking at Friday, right? Definitely caught the dip, but no matter what we caught, the volume wasn't there. I mean, clearly we had a $3 move, and no cons really, had exponential profit or growth, right, throughout the move, no matter how fast it was either. So for options traders, I mean, that's just what it is. But if you had a bunch of shares bought down here with us, you definitely had some nice gains. And anything that came under 234s is still remaining bearish. So I would want to see that if it holds 235 now, it's when I would decide to get back into the video. But until then, I would want to see it like chopping up in this range, and in fact is more bearish, allowing the RSI to sell off. So that's what I have for NVIDIA. Let's see, we have some earnings this week. I'm not going to chart any earnings just yet. Gonna wait for the report, right? No need to even look at the chart, see what it's doing until after the fact. Now, definitely the morning of the day that the report has already done its thing, we could buy the new news, and I'll definitely upload the watch list for those. But that's pretty much what I have for this week. Gonna keep it very conservative, very simple. We could look at SPX if anything. SPX has a nice gap here on the 5-minute, and they will also coincidentally want to go ahead and touch the 200 SMA here. So far, how it's looking, futures is opening up a little bit in the green. So if we do stay above 39.80s for SPX, I would actually look for calls. So if we can stay above 39.83 to be precise, which is previous supports, I would want to see that this gap fill to 40.16, even 40.10 gets hit. And that's a 30-40 point move on SPX. I'll take it any day. Now, for any reason it gets hit and rejects, then I would want to see that we probably make a new low with time. Now Friday set us up some nice levels here. So this is what I'll do for the upside. This will be your take profit levels. Get into calls. Very humble. It does not have to do the exact same thing as last time, but just what would make sense, right? We could have easily said that anything above a 200 SMA would just go to this resistance and then go to this over here. No, just be very conservative, trim, and boom. Finally, we get to our previous support. And if you really look at it, that's almost 100 points. Not even. Yeah, it's roughly 100 points up. But if we're trimming accordingly, I think that's just the best way to trade SPX in my opinion. So that's what I have here. We'll go ahead and say that anything above 39.80s would be calls. All right, what happened here? I think I have two levels here. Yeah. Okay, so 39.80s is a decent call range. And then if we actually stay under, doesn't have to do the same thing as last Friday or last week at all, but bringing up our puts territory. So if we reject the 200 SMA and continue to stay under 39.76, it would actually be the puts territory for me. Yes, I can chart Apple. Yeah, if you guys want me to chart something up, definitely text it out and I'll add it to our watch list here. I like to keep it under 7. 7 to 10 is the range. So far we have NVIDIA, Tessie, SPY, Qs. Give me some more. Apple. What's up, MP? Sid. Give me some stocks, man.
Yeti.
Yo, Jay Bizzos, give me some stocks to chart up.
Yeti, bro.
Yeti?
Yep.
Alright, bet. Do they have earnings this week?
Yeah, they had earnings last week, but
Okay.
I ain't even took that one as well. But I use their stuff all the time, man. Got fucking like 6 coolers, 10 tumblers, all kinds of bullshit from them. So
Okay. Well, let's see. Just because you brought it up, actually, it looks pretty hectic. I'm not gonna lie. Anything that comes under $34 can gap fill to 32, but the RSI on the daily seems like it wants to hold above 40. I don't know. It's a little bit crazy in my view here, but this is what I see. So anything above 41 calls, but anything that still holds under 38 puts all day.
38 puts. All right. Bet.
Yeah, and that's just like on a weekly standpoint. But yeah, that's what I have for Yeti. All right, Jay Bizzle, thank you for that. Apple, yes, I have. Gotcha. Yes, Apple, I have some crazy levels. It's a crazy stock, in fact. Look at Friday, how choppy this thing was. You would have literally had to have been scalping it at every bottom and every top. I mean, I do have call territories you guys see here at 146, puts at 145, right under 146. This is the only thing I would want to revise for tomorrow. Anything that comes under 146 now would be puts, and anything that stays above 146.50s would be calls. Just because it already made that attempt, and the 200 SMA is at 147, seemingly would be the first take profit level if bought into calls, and then you could, either manage with the stop loss just in case it rejects here, but if it wants to keep going, then 147.20s, just because of previous support, and then 147.60s from there. So yeah, too many levels here. Alright, cool. And yeah, this is the downside. If it could finally go down there. It seems like it's coming down pre-market for the most part, and if not, it'll do it obviously, when markets are trending, right? But it has a lot of gap downs, when it opens up the next day. So let's see if the same thing happens tomorrow. Maybe we end up already here and we start to reject that previous support. So we have to keep in mind of what's already happened last week. If we keep rejecting that support, we're setting us up, for some failure. But if we do bounce up to previous support and stay above, keep in mind that the RSI was meant for us to, do so. We're a little bit oversold right now. So Apple, just play these levels accordingly. See if the market also does the same thing. It should, follow its trend for tomorrow. On the daily perspective, so daily is already under the 200 SMA. That's what's a little bit worrisome. For any reason, and the RSI is just completely tanking. So for any reason, we have that retest to the 200 SMA here, which is of 147. Right now it's sitting right under 147, but if we retest anywhere to 147, 148 and reject, I would want to get some puts to 142. That's for a swing into the long term. So this is what I want to see first for Apple. So wherever we are to retest the 147.50s maybe, and then boom, drop it to 142. But if it holds 147s, then for it to go to previous resistance of 150. Very volatile stock. I think for sure back in January when everything was at its lows or seemingly wanting to make a new low, RSI was super oversold here. It's where we had that aggressive bounce back up, right? Same thing right now. It doesn't necessarily have to sell off, but if for any reason we do come to 142s and the RSI is already low, I would actually want to buy some calls, believe it or not, just because the momentum is showing some type of pattern here recently. So that's what I have for Apple. Yo, MP, bro. Ready for SPX tomorrow, brother? Go ahead and add SPX here. See what else. That's pretty much it. Seems like our options lately have been a bit choppy, right? Or the contracts have been, delayed when it comes to, riding trend with us. But I think it's just a seasonal thing, guys. I don't feel like it's anything really to, overwhelm ourselves with. If we see like the markets are just choppy or we're unsure of it, switch to some futures that don't really have decay. Probably even just call it a day. See that the market is going to be very rewardful very soon if you're just patient enough with it. And just looking at the charts, I mean, it's been a crazy week. I could even attest to that. I'm moving more with the momentum and the RSI than even the charts. Nowadays, I'm looking at the charts and I mean, I'm seeing these reversals happen out of nowhere. And one thing's for sure is the momentum is what can cause that. Now, these indicators I've been pulling up, like the 200 SMA, super critical to understand because that's another indication, right, to confirm said downtrend or uptrend. And in this case, the downtrends are just very, very close. RSIs, just need a little bit more of a retest, but the downtrends seem very valid to continue. So overall, like I've been saying in the beginning, the worst can definitely continue. It can get a lot worse before it gets better. But with time, I would see that you have those healthy pumps and healthy dips. Just makes sense. Shik, what's good, bro? Yeah, we just took some time here to build our watch list. We built our weekly outlook. I'll go ahead and post it into each individual channel. What's good? Yeah, I recorded the entire sesh, so I'll upload that in recordings as well. Awesome. All right, so that's pretty much what I have for our stocks, right? Our options market. You'll be able to understand again why I feel so, unbiased towards things. There's no reason to, always, have, that sense of, oh, I'm bearish or I'm bullish, because then, the reversals continue like they were, starting to happen last week, and it messes up your mentality. So I think that, like we always say, especially like myself, Mondays will set the tone for the rest of the week. Don't have that many reports, so we'll see how tomorrow plays out. Just kind of go in there with a free mind, and just be cautious of this 200 SMA is at most what I think we need to be aware of. Switches over to some crypto futures now, shall we? Still waiting on some some Coinbase funds to settle there. So I'm like trading this like small account. I touched it today and it was pretty crazy. Making 100-something% off of $5. And I'm like, oh my God. We could just put in our normal size positions already. Anybody here is trading crypto futures with us this week? For those of you that are getting more comfortable, how's it going? I haven't been really wanting to go so heavy. Not until I have like more funds available. I actually blew through $20 within a day. It was so easy. So I'm like, okay, you know what? Do my research, do the retest, strats on, on our options market, see if, it's going to be the same thing with our futures. It has been so far. Nothing really different. I think it's just like the leverage aspect of things. Like being able to uncontrollably switch over, your risk factor that you want to, leverage 5x or you want to leverage 200x. Yeah, right. Especially Bitcoin with the wicks. I'm starting to notice that if I'm gonna lose a trade, it's not even gonna be because my stop loss gets hit. It's because I manually stop myself out. If that makes sense. I'm gonna go back to like my OG days. I have to admit, I rarely even used to use a stop loss. MP, I know that, we both started using them at the same time last year, but I actually feel like that started to like tighten myself a little bit into this corner where I wasn't extending my profits any longer. And I mean, yeah, it's cool, you stay humble, you manage your risk a lot easier, but I feel like that's also what limits you from kind of reaching the next level and kind of mastering the market, really pinpointing where things can wick out at. And I feel like if you're manually closing out your positions, you're in a whole different tip. You're not, it's just like that general, like not wanting to rely on something else, an indication to, trigger your, the reason why you got, stopped out and then caused this per se loss in a position. That sucks. So I'm definitely gonna, refrain from using stop losses. And if I lose the trade, then I lose it. It wasn't meant to be. But for the most part, kind of having the other mindset of things that I'm not gonna lose the trade, that I feel like I know what I'm doing, and seeing that the end results are always for the most part wins. Definitely wanna trade like that again. So overall, I think this is to say not to be scared of the choppy markets that we're having. I think that's something that we should have been prepared for. And these are the times now that we have to decide what to trade, when to trade, and if we even should trade them, right? Overall, and for how long. Sometimes even certain stocks don't need to be traded for the next couple of weeks because CPI or something, right? So we'll see. That's why I like to have post-earnings trades. I like to have our indexes, crypto futures, little stuff here and there. So, it gives everybody a different style to kind of taste for. Oh, you guys over here, huh? You're on the grind. You have a good feeling about this week. What's good? SPX, watch it. I started using take profit because there's always a big take. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. If you have this goal to set up of, I'm gonna take 16% every single trade, and then minus the fees, that shit adds up for sure. And who cares what happens after the fact? Most of the time it can continue, but if you timed yourself perfectly, then maybe you actually sold it at a bounce, right? That was a bounce that happened, and you could just re-enter again. Being that it's futures with margin, you could just, it's unlimited amount of times that you can actually trade these things. It's fire. That's a lot, bro. If you knew, I started with 100 and I lost it so fast. Yeah, I started with like $22, and then I had like an extra $30 in free like coupons or whatever that BingX gave me, and I blew through the entire thing. I'll show you guys right now. Look, I'm just waiting on some Coinbase funds to settle here. But I was like, you know what? Let me learn with 20 bucks. What's it gonna hurt? But now I know, okay, if I really deposit, you know, what I want to, I know the power of this thing. But look, I'll show you guys right now. You could probably enter a trade overnight. I'm noticing the trades overnight though. I don't want to lose my entire position, right? It could liquidate your entire, you know, margin that you have there. So I would want to, you know, put a stop loss for anything that's overnight, and a take profit would be ideal too. Okay, so markets. Let me know if you guys can see my screen. I'm going to share it right now on the crypto side.
Hey, Jeremy. When you get into when you're going to trade on BingX and you have a Coinbase account, you able to transfer that funds over to BingX?
Yes.
Okay. So I might need a tutorial on how to do that, dude. I'm kind of old school.
No, I got you. I'm actually screen recording this right now, so I can go over that for you if you'd like.
Okay, dude. Sounds good, man. Thank you.
You're welcome. All right, so that's actually what I'm gonna do right now. So let's pull up BingX. I'm on BingX.com. If you use my referral code, you guys can receive 10% commission from anybody you refer in the future. So definitely check that out. If you need the link, let me know. If not, it's in the chat somewhere. I'll go ahead and repost it. But once you do get into BingX, okay, you do have to understand that it's not US regulated as of yet from what I've heard. But for the meanwhile that it's not US regulated, we would find or would like to find something that is, right, to protect us. Now, even then, let's just say we use something to protect us like Coinbase, Binance, or any other US regulated cryptocurrency exchanges or platforms. What I would consider and what I actually am doing, depositing the funds from my bank to these US regulated platforms. From there, let's just say it's Coinbase, transferring the funds over to BingX. BingX, let's say I make, you know, some X amount of profits on one day. I would want to actually before the next day actually comes around, start withdrawing my profits, either 70 or 80% of my account, just in case something goes wrong with BingX. Being it's not US regulated, you know, and obviously I'm a US citizen, I do not have my identity paired up with their app. I don't know what could happen if I leave 90% of my account. So I would definitely feel more comfortable, you know, leaving 10% of my account in there at all times possible. And I mean, yeah, BingX is a very user-friendly platform. It's easy as hell to make money if you know what you're doing because it's using leverage. And I'll get into, you know, how to use the leverage and what that is about. But if you do have to understand the protocols first, and you know, the understanding that it's not regulated in the States just yet. And the reason why we use Coinbase is for that reason, in fact. Now, when you do start using Coinbase or any other US regulated platforms to transfer from and withdraw from BingX, then, you know, you could be able to, you know, do it literally on a daily basis, and then also tell yourself, I want to, you know, use 80% of my profits, maybe 30% of my profits. However you feel like you can tolerate, then, you know, by all means, but probably set up some type of boundary, right, or some type of limitation to how much you want to leave in this unregulated crypto account, if that makes sense. So that's my take on the crypto exchange. Anything that's not US regulated, don't leave all your eggs in there. You know, just instantly withdraw to your Coinbase, because you could do it literally by the second. You don't have to wait days for things to settle. You may have to wait a few days for the deposit to, you know, initiate, or the withdrawal to initiate to Coinbase to, excuse me, to your bank. But, you know, setting the action of transferring is instant. So I would consider that. Now, when you do enter here into BingX, right? Say we go into markets. This is on the web version. But if you go through the app, you'll be able to see more or less the same thing. Bitcoin, let's just say we go ahead and click on this. It's obviously it's a crypto, right, that you can trade. It's like saying shares. If we have Apple and we want to buy 100 shares of the company, it's at $140, right? You have to understand that each share is at $140. You're taking a piece of the company. It's the same thing with cryptocurrency. So one Bitcoin right now is worth $23,500 for one coin. It's like saying the same thing for one share. Now, crypto futures, it's like saying options to stocks. Crypto futures, it's also like saying futures to stocks, except crypto futures does not have an expiry, nor are you buying shares, right? You're per se betting on the market, like with options. Now, like I always say, you're not gambling if you're formulating your own opinion. You're doing your studies here. You're buying the longs because you see that play out, or you're buying the short because you see the downtrend forming, right? And if you could anticipate that before the fact, crypto futures, the amazing thing about it, if you guys see my screen now, over here, say I want to go and look, this is what it means to have margin. So right now I have $4.73 US in this account. Currently waiting again on Coinbase to settle some funds. For first time users, you may have to wait like 7 to 14 business days. So I'm currently in that trial right now. But yeah, so for right now, they actually give me some free money to play with. So I actually blew the account from $20 and I'm down to $5 practically. But so you guys can see availability, I have $4 in the account to use. This is my margin. So what this means is that if I want to go ahead and use half of my margin, which it's going to tell you here, if you guys notice, you have to use a minimum of $2 to trade futures here, okay? So always keep that in mind. I have $4, say I put half of my account, $2.40 of margin. What this means is, let's just say I want to buy calls to go to the upside. I have the option of choosing, per se, my risk factor or what I feel my potential profit could be. What this means, again, so I don't lose you guys, is margin, $2.40. Say that I'm very confident it's going to go long, forever, however long, because there's no expiration date, as you guys notice. Let's just say I just wanted to go long. I want to see that this thing pumps to the next resistance. I want to press long. I'm going to press buy. I press 150x because I'm really confident. And what that means is that I have the potential of making 150x times my margin that I'm placing of $2.40, which is $152.40 is my potential profit off of this trade here. Now, if things don't go right, if they actually go south and they start to sell off here because I'm in a long, then I could potentially lose not only my entire margin, but if I don't have a stop loss set in play, I can actually lose the rest of my account. Now, not all futures are like this. You have some that are called cross margin, you have isolated margin. There's tons of them, right? But either way, just kind of collectively think that with futures, you always want to put merely some type of stop loss. If not, don't, put in your entire account into one position because you can potentially lose it all if you don't manage it the correct way. So again, entering this position, I want to buy a long. Let's just say even right here while it's dipping, I still want to buy a long and I'm not as confident anymore, so I want to go 50x. What this means is that I have the potential profits of making $2.40 times 50x, which is $120 I can cash out if this hits. Doesn't mean it has to hit at any given point in time or set range, but it just has to start, approaching the long range for me to start collecting that profit, right? Now, for sure, there's, definite calculation to, I'm sure like with Forex, for every pip, it goes up, is how the risk factor is calculated here and how you're able to get a percentage, right? A risk to ratio percentage. But I have yet to, figure that out. I'm actually just very new into this futures thing and also Forex. So that's what I know so far about how to place the orders. If you want to use $2, you could potentially make over $150. You know, if this thing, I think, would have to merely go up to what, 100, 200 points though. Nah, like probably even like Bitcoin would have to go from 23,500s to probably 24,500, a good 1,000 points, and you could definitely make some crazy leverage off of even a couple bucks. Now, for any reason, let's just say I go ahead and I put this long right here. So I press long just so I can show you guys. All right, I'm in a long position right now. I have 150x of leverage that I went and used. See, I think it's still shipping it. Yeah, there's a problem with the network. All right, let me see. I'm gonna try it again right here. All right, so there's a problem with my network. Probably have to just refresh it. But seemingly, you know, you would just press the long here, and then you can immediately adjust your take profit or stop losses. So the way that that would work, I'm trying to show you guys here really quick. Sometimes around this time from 8 to 10, you'll notice crypto, it's heavily traded. It's usually from 8 to 10, from 12 to 3, from 5 to 8 in the morning, and then market open. You know, it gets crazy. But there's like maybe a couple of hours throughout the day, 2 to 4 hours throughout the day where it's just like really stagnant. Right now it's, there it goes. Okay. Gas prices are probably up right now. Well, that's pretty much how you would buy it. I'm trying to actually purchase something here so you guys can see what that looks like exactly. Imagine if it bought it for me and I'm stuck in it. That would be crazy. Oh wow, look at that. Look at this bullish ass candle. I was literally trying to buy down here. You guys saw it, right?
Damn.
What are the odds, yo?
Shit, dude. What if you put in 200 bucks on that right there?
Bro, what you could have made? So look, so that's actually like 17 coins up or whatever you want to call it. Yeah, I mean the terms for it is 17 coins up or 17 like points, whatever. I would think that off of that, $200 would have probably made you like what MP said right now, probably like a cool 10 to 20 bucks off of that little rip. And that's nothing, brother. If like today, I myself off of, I'll show you guys. Look, order history. See, this thing's so slow right now. Oh no, it's not gonna pop it up. It's too later. But I had bought like $3 or $1.90 worth of shorts all the way up here earlier today. And this thing started downtrending like crazy, and off of $1.90. Okay, so it dropped. So Bitcoin dropped 300 points, and $1.40 made me $5.
Okay.
So let's just say for every 300 points, it moves 300%. Let's just be humble, right? So $200 on a 300-point move on Bitcoin. $200 times 300% is $600. So yeah, you would merely triple your money off of every 300 point. So every 100 points up, you're making 100% roughly. You're doubling your money for every 100 points that this moves. That's pretty cool.
Good.
Yeah. So if right now Bitcoin goes from 23,560 to 23,660, 100 points up, and you bought in at $100 right now, you can make another $100 if it pumps up. And it doesn't even have to go to previous resistance. It just has to even touch a little bit, and you're making another $100.
Just has to get the tip in.
Yep, it just has to even go to previous resistance. My truck's not loading right now. The gas prices are probably slow or some shit, but yeah. Oh shit, MP, you got? Or are you playing? Crypto's 24/7. That's why I changed my trading strategy. Yeah, I have to change my day trading strategy because crypto's 24/7. But yeah, Bitcoin moves hard. Gold. I like Ethereum. I feel like Bitcoin is like SPY, and then Ethereum is like Qs, very conservative. You'll notice that it doesn't have like very aggressive sell-offs or uptrends. It's chilling. And then gold is pretty fire. I got burned every single time on gold. I'm not gonna lie. And yeah. Oh shit, you're serious? You did get it. Fire, bro. How is it like?
Yeah.
How is it buying and selling for you? Like, is it user friendly? You feel the whole buy and sell thing here? Let me see why this is tripping. Yeah, right. It's like a little bit too easy. There's something wrong with it. Facts. And then the stop loss. I don't know if you've noticed, but I don't know if you're doing it like how we do it with options. But whenever I hit profit, let's just say I see more than 40% in profit, I go and move my stop loss to 20%, and it'll show me, okay, if you're moving it to 20% in profit, this is how much you're gonna take profit if it hits. Like it just clearly shows you, you know, what exactly you're gonna hit, when you're gonna hit it, how much would it be in fees for everything. It projects everything really nicely. So yeah, I definitely can agree to that. Let me see. I'm gonna log out of the web browser here. I think I was in too many. Whoa! What just happened to Bitcoin? Is Bitcoin dying right now? Is that what's going on? Wow. Let me take out Safari. Come back.
Good.
So maybe the web browser for Bing X is just a little bit slow, I guess. I was trading on this earlier pretty okay. Um, maybe you just need to exit and come back in. That's exactly what I'm doing. If not, the phone never really gives me a problem. But again, you never know with this app. If you make freaking $100 in a day and you have $100 in there, fucking take those $100 out. You know what I mean? Doesn't at least to me make sense just yet to leave even more than 40% of your earnings in there. So okay, so what happened with Bitcoin here? So if we would have bought Bitcoin, man, you made $30. How much margin, if you don't mind me asking, did you have to put? That was a quick little pump and dump, huh? $100x. And what was the margin? Did you put your entire account or you put like half? Holy shit. Okay. Okay. I feel you. That's crazy. I did that, bro, on my first one. I had like $26, and by accident, I put the entire thing, like the entire margin. I'm like, oh shit, this thing better hit, yo. And thankfully it did. But then the next try around, I was like, oh, let me do it again. But like 70% of my account, I lost it overnight. Like $16. I was like, damn, that was fast. And what's crazy is I had a stop loss on it too, but it flew past my stop loss. I think it was like a gap down pre-market or something, and it didn't even care about my stop loss. So you guys gotta be very careful about that. But other than those little things to be cautious for, it's just pretty crazy. So right here, it rejected previous resistance and just came down. What I like to look at here a lot is the 30-minute chart. So the 30-minute chart, at least on my phone, it always respects this indicator, the 50. I feel like on my phone I have a different one though. Hold on, let me see. It always respects it though. So I have no, it's this blue one, the EMA 30. So right here, indicators. I think it's the EMA cross.
2350, 550 on Bitcoin.
Yeah, you see how crazy shit is, man. It pumps and then
Yeah, dude.
it dumps. It goes crazy, man. This stock does not play.
Oh shit.
But yeah.
Fucking can put in $1,000 and make about what, $4,000 off of fucking $1,000 just within seconds.
Yeah, it's not even about how fast it is. It's the fact that there's no expiration. So your direction, your bet can hit, right? And it's more of a realistic, way of trading nowadays, right? It's like betting for a trend to hit, but you're not limited to saying, oh, it has to hit in a set amount of days. No, this shit is literally like telling you, just as long as you're hitting the direction, like you could hold this for the next 5 years, and you're still gonna have, profit. Now, I mean, to me, even then, like that's just kind of thinking back to options and how we trade. Well, eventually, somebody's gonna get tired of buying this back, right? Like, who's gonna wanna, maybe buy out what I'm leveraging here, from a set amount of price. So that's why I always like to say, at least nothing lasts forever, right? I think we can all agree to it. But here and there, just take your profits, cut it, boom, seek another re-entry. You never know when shit's either gonna tank on you or apps are gonna get closed down. You just don't know, right? So being that we're just heavily relying on these technologies, be very, very humble. Take out these profits whenever you can, and holy shit, look at Bitcoin right now as we speak. Sorry guys, caught my eye, but look at that. So 23,548 to 23,577, 20-point move right there is at least making over 20-30% ROI. Excuse me.
Let's go with Bitcoin.
Yep, look at that. It's pretty bullish. But anything that, if you guys see in the past, anything that clearly respects would be this EMA right here, or MA, the 200. So we'll see. Look at that. My man just made $45 in 20 minutes. Oh, yeah. And it kind of like, it beats that like urge to want to wait for tomorrow for the markets, right? Let's go. I don't know what's going on with my internet. I was clearly trying to buy it. I would have held, or I would have even trimmed. Boom, done the same thing, bought back in. I think right now what it's going to do, it's going to go ahead and hit the, what are we on, the 1 minute? It's going to hit the RSI here. Boom. And it's going to come back eventually down to this support. Just to allow the RSI to do its thing. And then on the 30-minute chart, that's crazy. This thing pumping up right now as we speak. I have the
Five 585 now. Holy shit, dude.
Yeah, you saw it?
Yep.
That's just crazy, dude.
Tinking right there, man. Waiting for it to hit 6. Yeah. Insane, dude. Stupid money can be made.
Yeah, man. And then if you feel like, hey, the markets tomorrow, they open up, they're really choppy, you're like, I'll see what, futures are doing or something. And believe it or not, like, while options are just kind of like very stagnant in the middle or having aggressive pumps or not, futures, the leverage doesn't care about if you're getting close or not to the strike or if you're, about to hit your expiration date. No, just as long as you got in at a set price and it's moving above or under wherever you stated it was going to do, then, you're in winnings. So yeah, it's favorable for sure.
Yeah, dude, for real. Shit.
Yep, look at Bitcoin move, man.
Well, it is going, dude.
It's a beautiful pump. But so you guys can see, when it does pass, make a new high, it would more than likely want to come down and create a, support around here somewhere. Doesn't have to do it right now. The RSI, in fact, here, what it's telling me is that it can go all the way up here again. And then finally have a huge sell-off to seemingly want to crash. There it goes. So look, just cause I'll eventually end up selling it, but so you guys can see what it looks like. If I were to buy a short here and I don't put trigger order, it's gonna mark it like if I bought it all the way down here. So I bought puts all the way up here, but it's gonna ship you a little bit more ahead than what you wanted, so you guys are aware. I did this purposely so you guys can see I'm already down 16%. All right, so if you do want to get into something and you're like, okay, I don't want to get completely wiped out of this trade like I am right now, press trigger order, and you can actually set a limit order for it to go ahead and enter or per se fill you in at. So you don't have this, common problem, right? Yeah. So I'm in a short right now, so you guys can see, and I'm down 16% already, 20%. Look at that, how fast. And I bought them over here, but it actually filled me down here. So now, in order for me to profit, I need for it to come under this support where I said that it actually could hold up at. So that's that. What I would want to do here typically, I don't care about what I have in this account, waiting for funds to settle and stuff, but this is what you would want to do. You'd go to take profit, stop loss. You would set take profit. Let's just say you want to go, well, fees.
Are you,
What's up?
Jeremy, are you still live trading, dude? Because my shit fucking stopped.
Yeah, I am.
Oh, shit. Okay.
It's all good. I'm gonna resume right now. So fees are usually around 13 cents. So let's just say I want to take 26 cents on take profit. My stop loss, I'll go ahead. Let me see. Can you still see my screen? Let me see. Oh, there you go. All right. So now you can see my screen. So take profit. I'll go ahead and I'll just move it to a price, right, where it's in the positive. Obviously, it's where my take profit is. So right here, understanding that the fees are 13 cents for each position. Let's just say I just want to take 13 cents profit, right? So I would set it at 26, 27 level, which is merely 11%. And then my stop loss, I'll put it so that I'm taking, let's just say I put $2 into the trade. I'm going to take $1 off, right? So you could just like keep clicking this all the way till you get to $1. Or you could just literally move it to the price that you want it to stop you out at. But let's just say I want it to take me out at under 50%, $1.12. Boom, confirm. And what this is going to do on the chart, it's going to show you where your stop loss is, where your take profit is, and where your entry is as well. Right now I'm down 22%. Could have bought the pump up, right? Could have been making the complete opposite, knowingly that the market order would ship me all the way down here. But it's all good. I'm gonna wait for it to hit support. Might even just close this little position out because I wanted to show you guys what it looks like. But this is definitely a nice pump that's happening. So props to you that bought from the OG uptrend, right? Yeah, what do you guys think about this so far? Any questions? Any concerns? Putting in another 500, another 15, another 30. Holy shit.
Jesus, dude. You fucking.
Damn, bro, you made $75 just like that? Let's go.
Damn.
Yeah, but I got one question though.
What's good?
When you do the 100x, do they charge more fees?
I think it's based off of the time that we're trading. I don't think it's the leverage.
That was the next question. When's the best time for gas prices to get in and trade?
I heard it's best on the weekends, so like Saturdays, Sundays, and then like 12 to 3 in the morning is also really good from what I've noticed. But I have to look into that because I have noticed some like futures I've traded would tell me I have 29 cents in fees, 50 cents in fees, but I think it's based off of the margin that you have in your account, number one. Number two, it's the time that we're trading. I could be mistaken, but I'll look into it.
All right.
Let me actually search that up because I noticed that the other day. What causes my trade fee in Big X? Oh, it's a fee schedule. Yeah.
Mm.
So fee schedule. Oh wow. All right, so I'll go ahead and post this because it varies per pair. So it's like a daily average for the most part. Bitcoin is 0.04. Anything else would be 0.1. I'll go ahead and post this right now into the crypto tab so you guys can look into it with me tonight. Price calculation method for spread. Oh shit, what are trading fees? How do you avoid trading fees? I mean, you can always avoid it. Like, they have a lot of bonuses on the app that like allows you to avoid trading fees, but I mean, they're like by the cents. That's something to look into for sure. I got you guys. I'll post this link here to the Discord. Here you go. But yeah, that's what I got, my guys. I'm gonna go ahead and upload this recording. Beautiful long play here on Bitcoin. I'm waiting for these shorts to pan out, and yeah, we'll see what happens. Just gonna be looking at some charts here tonight. Get ready for the week. Should be an exciting one. Barely any reports. All right, my guys. Y'all take it easy.
All right, Jeremy. Thank you, bro. Appreciate it. Deuces.
Deuces.